The attention will be put on the dwarf planet and its icy companions in the Kuiper Belt, even if Pluto is no longer a planet. NASA's New Horizons mission has passed these bodies, but they have only had a fleeting opportunity to observe them. The sensitive infrared cameras on Webb will allow researchers to study the objects for longer. Welcome back to Theory of Science. Before you get lost in the most powerful telescope ever created and the breathtaking images of Pluto and Arrokoth, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more interesting content. One of the first objectives for the James Webb Space Telescope this year was to investigate Pluto and a few of the thousands of astronomical objects in the Kuiper Belt, which is the part of our solar system outside of Neptune's orbit. In terms of color, form, size, groupings, and geological atmospheric activity, these bodies, also referred to as Kuiper Belt objects or trans-Neptunian objects, display astounding diversity. To receive a gravitational lift on its lengthy trip, New Horizons passed by Jupiter on February 28, 2007, after taking off from Cape Canaveral in Florida on January 19, 2006. The spacecraft observed Jupiter, its moons, and its ring system during the flyby. Beyond that, scientists want to look at the information to learn more about the early solar system. Webb scholar Jonathan Lunine, an astronomer at Cornell University multidisciplinary scientist, remarked of these objects. They are the graveyard of solar system development, he stated, with the items that have probably existed for billions of years and may continue to exist for many more. Hope you received all the information on Pluto. Centaurs, once Kuiper Belt objects with changed orbits that have brought them closer to the Sun and caused them to settle between Jupiter and Neptune, are another class of objects that Webb will explore. Triton, the moon of Neptune, is one of such things. Even though it is Neptune's moon, evidence suggests that it is an object from the Kuiper Belt that accidentally approached Neptune in the past and was then captured into an orbit around Neptune. In the discoveries that may answer the long-standing mystery of how this planet's initially formed from the gray dust of the early solar system, NASA has revealed information about the farthest distant object ever visited by a spacecraft. No embedded moonlets larger than roughly 1 kilometer could be seen in the ring system's detailed photos. Astronomers anticipated such objects if the ring system had been created from the fragment of moons that had exploded. Now, New Horizons discovered pulses of energetic particles flowing along the tail of Jupiter's magnetosphere that was modulated by the planet's 10-hour rotation rate. The spacecraft's path took it along the magnetosphere's backside. After New Horizons passed Jupiter, it went into an electric sleep period during which it sent updates on its status once every 7 days, 5 months before Pluto's Charon system's July 14, 2015 closest approach. New Horizons started analyzing it. Due to Charon's size and mass in relation to Pluto, some astronomers prefer the two bodies as a double system. Charon constantly faces the same hemisphere of Pluto because gravitational interactions between the two bodies have synced Charon's orbital period with the rotation period of Pluto. Additionally, because Charon's rotation period coincides with its orbital period, it always displays the same hemisphere as Pluto. The onboard instruments carefully examined Pluto's atmosphere and Charon's surface. On Pluto, New Horizons discovered mountains of possible water ice flowing on top of nitrogen ice and a sizable juvenile heart-shaped patch of ice. Charon's north pole was found to be covered in reddish material that had escaped from Pluto's atmosphere, and it was found to have enormous chasms. Styx, Nix, Kerberos, and Hydra, the 4 smaller moons of Pluto, were discovered to be spinning exceptionally quickly in contrast to the majority of other satellites in the solar system, which always have one side facing the planet they orbit. Before we see what Arrokoth is, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. The Kuiper Belt, a sizable donut-shaped region home to thousands of dwarf planets and frozen objects, is home to the ultra-red peanut-shaped dwarf thing known as Arrokoth. It is located 1 billion miles beyond Pluto. The New Horizons spacecraft from NASA made a flyby on January 1, 2019. Due to its great distance from Earth, it still transmits the data it collected during the brief encounter. The findings made at Arrokoth are so significant, according to Professor Bill McKinnon, a planetary scientist at Washington University in St. Louis, and the head author of the most recent study, that the New Horizons teams was left debating whether they would ultimately be viewed as more significant than the probe's first encounter with Pluto in 2015. The solar nebula is a gas and dust cloud that once encircled the freshly formed Sun, and is marked by Arrokoth's location in the Kuiper Belt. Due to the decreased density of the material there, planetary growth in this area was halted early. Scientists can go back in time to a period where the seeds of today's planets were being sowed by exploring these frozen wastelands. Scientists have struggled with two opposing hypotheses for the origin of planetary formation for decades. The first process, called hierarchical accretion, involved little grains and pebbles zipping around and occasionally slamming into one another hard enough to stick, creating ever larger things. Planets gathered stuff gradually over millions of years through irrational, violent collisions. A second possibility, referred to as cloud collapse, involved clumps or particles that were attracted to one another by the nebula's higher particle density until they spontaneously collapsed due to gravity. The planets were born huge, with objects 10 or hundreds of kilometers in diameter developing with hundreds of years of mild collisions. Regardless, New Horizons will continue to travel through the Kuiper Belt and beyond, and is anticipated that its steadily degrading plutonium fuel will maintain communication until the 2030s. According to McKinnon, no matter what we do, the fuel lines will eventually freeze, and the spacecraft won't be able to point itself towards the Earth. With that, we come to the end of this video. Comment your thoughts on the photos that have been received, and please make sure that you subscribe to our channel for more related content. Until then, bye bye!